Bird coming at you as soon as we wrap here on Undisputed. Good morning, Colin. Hope you had a great weekend. What you talking about today?
John Calipari, should he be on the hot seat at Kentucky? Odell Beckham wants to be on anybody's seat, anybody's starting roster. He's looking for work, and the market's not answering. That's coming up.
Fair points. Alabama won their first two NCAA tournament games by 21 and 22 points to advance to the Sweet 16. The number one seed Crimson Tide, 7-point favorites over San Diego State in their next game. That's according to Fox Bet Sportsbook. Shannon, you and Skip both picked Alabama to win it all. After this weekend, scale of 1 to 10, how much faith do you have in Bama to take the crown?
I'm an 8.5 because, Skip, you know in March Madness, anything can happen. Somebody get hot at the right time, and they can shoot you out of the building. But I like what I see, and they've been impressive. And now Brandon Miller seems to have gotten over whatever little injury he had. He had 0 points in the first game, 19 in the second game. They look really, really good, and they definitely should have advanced against San Diego State.
Shannon, scale of 1 to 10 on lock for Bama. I'm going a 15. They are easily the best team in this tournament because they're the deepest team, and they do have the best player by far in Brandon Miller. I have no idea what went on in the first game, but he's back. And the point is, I don't see any team being able to challenge them except Houston, maybe defensively. So I think it's going to come down to those two. But remember, Bama already beat them at Houston early this year. So to quote you about Saban's Bama teams, remember what you used to say? He's got a stanker going on down there in Tuscaloosa. I think this Bama basketball team has a stanker going on.
Yeah, but Skip, all the big guns are gone. No Kentucky, no Duke. Carolina didn't make it. IU, maybe, UCLA maybe still left. If I'm not mistaken, I haven't paid a whole lot of attention to it. Just been watching Alabama. But you're right, Skip. They look really good. And this kid, this freshman, Skip, he might be the best Alabama player, and they've had some really good ones. From Robert Orr to Antonio McDyess, Spreewell, Colin Sexton, Enos Watley, Bobby Lee Hurt. He might be the best all-time at
Bradley
Bama.
Dickinson. We're out of time, guys. We'll do it again tomorrow. Stay tuned. The Herd's next. In the loss on Saturday. Then last night, the Clippers did indeed get a win, this time over the Blazers, despite Westbrook having 4 more turnovers and shooting 1 of 5 in the fourth. He played 10 minutes. The Clippers contained Damian Lillard. Dame only shot 4 of 17 in the game. Shannon, we'll start with you. Will the Clippers figure out how to win with Russ in ways the Lakers couldn't?
What you mean the Lakers couldn't? So could the Wizards win with it? Could the Rockets win with it? Could OKC win with it? So they make it seem like only the Lakers didn't find a way to win with Russ. What about the other teams that he's been on? Have they found ways to win with it? Against the Magic, Skip, for the first 2:45 of the game and the last 12 minutes of the ball game, with Russ on the floor, the Magic outscored them by 22 points. He had 11 points on 4 of 6 field goals in the first quarter, and then he struggled from there. And then we already know about the turnovers. He missed 3 or 4 free throws in the fourth quarter. Look, but still, to try to put all the blame on Russ would be foolish. What we do know, Skip, is that the Clippers have struggled in games in which Kawhi hasn't played. It started at the beginning of the year when he was out, and now when he doesn't play, they normally lose those ball games. And it just so happens that Russ is on the court. Russ is low-hanging fruit, and he's easy to pluck. But I'm not going to put all the blame on Russ. But Russ is listen, once you accept Russ for who and what he is, you'll be fine. He's a guy that's going to play extremely hard. He's going to make some of the dumbest, careless mistakes you'll ever see for a professional basketball player make, especially someone of his qualifications. A former MVP, a multiple-time All-Star, multiple-time All-NBA, the All-Star Game MVP. But his recklessness, his carelessness with the basketball makes you think, how was this man able to accomplish everything, great thing that he's accomplished with the hands that he possessed? I don't know. But I'm not going to sit here and place all the blame on Russ. It's always going to be a problem to find ways to win with Russ because he's inefficient, he's turnover prone, and he's not the best defender. So late in ball games, Skip, a lot of times, what will he do? Make a crucial mistake on offense that will cost you, or he'll have a lapse on defense that will in turn cost you. But this has more to do with Kawhi not playing than Russ failures or inadequacies. But Russ hasn't played well. And Skip, you remember the other night when D-Lo struggled against the Mavericks, Russ's brother liked the tweet. You see how karma worked? And what happened the next night? You see how sometimes karma, it takes you years for you to get your comeuppance. Sometimes karma is like Amazon Prime. It'll deliver it to you the next day. And if it's close by and you really need it, they'll give it to you the same day. He liked that tweet, and the next night, what happened? 6 turnovers and played horrible.
Mm-hmm. Thank you for pointing that out. Back to your first point. The point was LeBron and AD campaigned for the Lakers to go get Russell Westbrook. The point was Russ had never played with 2 superstars like LeBron and AD. And he dragged both of them down to the point that I'm pretty sure both of them wanted him gone. So it didn't work with the Lakers when you had optimum a situation. You put him in where he almost couldn't fail, and yet he did fail. He was returning to his hometown team to be the starting point guard with LeBron James and Anthony Davis welcoming him and saying, we just want Russ to be Russ. And he was so Russ that he destroyed the Lakers last year. He was the biggest reason they failed a year ago to even make the playoffs. So my point is, I'm still shell-shocked because I picked the Clippers to win it all this year. They have their best chance ever to win the Western Conference for a fact. And yet they went and got Russell Westbrook just because they're the team in the basement. They're the ugly stepchildren in the basement. And they want to show the big bad Lakers that we can figure it out in ways you couldn't figure it out. And Shannon, they can't and they won't. They're now 5-6 since they acquired Russell Westbrook. And he is, again, you say he's low-hanging fruit. No. The truth is he's just rotten fruit. He is what he isn't, and we knew it. We know it for 2 years. We saw it. He is, right now, he's the second worst three-point shooter in the league to Banchero, and I don't know, Banchero keeps jacking up threes, and he barely stays just a notch below Russ. But Russ is at 29.3% from three. Russ is now the 4th worst free throw shooter in the entire league. Russ is still leading the league, as he was with the Lakers, in turnovers per 36 minutes. He's not playing quite as many minutes as he did a year ago, but he still leads in turnovers per 36 minutes. The point is, that's a lethal combination. You're a horrible three-point shooter, you're a horrible free throw shooter, and you're a turnover machine. Okay, well, you're a point guard, for heaven's sakes, and you're not a very good defender. It's not like you're some lockdown perimeter defender, who destroys the opponent's point guard. And yet Ty Lue, stubborn to a fault, keeps saying, watch this, I'll figure it out. So what happened? This is going back 2 days. They played a day game, and they are notoriously bad out here in L.A. in day games, but still. You don't have Kawhi because they're going to save him for Portland in the back-to-back last night at Portland. And what happens? You play Russ 36 minutes. You play him all 12 minutes of the fourth quarter, and he's a disaster in the fourth quarter. He goes 1 of 4 from the free throw line. He turns it over 2 more times to give him 6 total for the game. And just because I missed these, I think we need a Russell Westbrook memorial turnover blooper reel. We only have 5 of the 6 turnovers. This is against Orlando, but 5 they missed one on TV when they came back from commercial. But if we could please see the 5 in a row, it's just horrendous. They're so bad, they're comical. And you say, Russ, what are you thinking? What's the point? You get up in the air and you don't have any place to go. And Russ, there are 2 defenders on him. You can't lob pass to Big Zoo, and it's guarded. Don't try. It's a force. Russ, hang on to the basketball. He's got the worst hands I've ever seen in a point guard. Russ, this is when he's hell-bent to the rim. Look out. He left the ball behind him. Okay? There are 5 out of 6 turnovers, and it's Shannon, it's hard to watch. It takes the heart out of a team. It's just so, it's psychologically demoralizing and debilitating. And yet Ty Lue came right back last night at Portland and said, watch this. I'm going to play him 10 minutes in the fourth quarter. And he wasn't